Welcome to episode 2 of Intechlectual. Silver Surface, Robin, J.A.Y versus the FBI. I'm Emmanuel, and you are
Lui.
And this is the episode.
We back.
We're definitely back. Like, I think after, this is technically the third episode
Right.
that we've done. So now this is like
episode 0. We had this conversation last week, right?
This is a thing, Louis.
Uh-oh.
We're doing it. This is back to back
doing
to back.
Doing it well.
And not just back to back to back.
That sounds like some weird centipede movie.
We've kept, a pattern. And we've hit. Even though the pattern that we're doing right now isn't.
Hey, this pattern's mad. Yeah, I was making a joke, but I was like, let's not put us on blast.
But we've stuck to it. We haven't missed anything. And I don't see us stopping. Touch wood.
It's fake wood.
What are we talking about today, Louis? We kind of hinted that into the title, but give him a little rundown.
What was the title again? That was Silver Surface.
Robin.
And J.A.Y versus the FBI.
Ooh.
I feel like that's probably the hardest title. I think we've outdone ourselves and we won't be able to do that again.
Yeah, listen, next week's going to be just like one title. It's going to be like...
one word.
Elon or
chicken.
something.
Chicken. The most clickbait title ever. Just chicken.
Is that clickbait or cluckbait?
Nah, I'm done. Alright guys, looking for a new co-host. If you want to apply, shine your bat torch and
Bat torch?
No, right. Let's get to some business, right? So today, Google, right? They're being fined $2.49 billion for basically favoring their own price comparison. So you go out to Google and you enter a product X, and you get the little shopping thing at the top, and it says, you can get this from here, you can get this from there. This is sort of the price it is. Google's in hot water because they favoured their own stuff as opposed to other European rivals. And it went to the Europe's second biggest court. So I don't quite know how the court stuff works. Does that mean that there's one bigger court so they could go appeal to the bigger court, or is that just the size of the court and how many people is in there? I'm not sure.
I think usually if you don't like the verdict or the saying, or whatever they call it, you can go to a different court. And if the second one also agrees with the first one, and vice versa, then you're kind of screwed. But it's like getting a second opinion kind of thing.
But how many appeals can you have? How many appeals of the appeals can you have? I think this was an appeal. I think that's why they got rejected, because this was are you actually sure about that?
Gotcha.
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Neither am I. But if you want a law podcast, I'm sure they are out there.
You know what? I think that'd be pretty cool to listen to be honest.
Yeah.
Learn some stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Google's getting crap on again. But the thing to note is, the same person, I'm not going to pronounce their name because I know they're the European competition chief, and you can look up their name, but it's a madness. They are currently looking at and now investigating Amazon, Apple, and Facebook. So watch this space. We might be talking about them in a matter of weeks and however much they get fined. But yeah, Google's in a bit of a sticky situation with that one. I mean, it's Trump changed them, right?
Yeah, but it's, by the sounds of what you just said, it's all of them. And, this is leading back to us talking about antitrust and how people are using data. Not people, big corporations, how are they using their data and their means and power to do things that don't benefit everybody, just themselves. And, this is kind of adds to the rich getting richer and us trying to see what we can do via lawful terms to kind of, control them.
In other big giant news, I feel like we're going to have a top 4 news of the week. How in the consulting game there's the top 4 and they only talk about the top 4. I feel like we're going to have the top 4 tech, not going to mention them because they need to pay us. But I feel like we're going to have the top 4 and we can talk about them each week because they're doing something shady or they're getting wrecked. One or the other.
or they're just, they are tech. They are the biggest corporations, and they are the biggest platforms. They are the biggest talking points. They are the most earning, the most top grossing. So chances are.
No, I think the problem is it's because of how big they are. That's how much traction they get.
Exactly.
So the same 50 different smaller companies could do the same thing better, but because Google's known as Google, Google gets the limelight.
Yeah, and like you said, when data breaches or fines happen, everybody else gets 10 grand, whatever. But the big corps, 2.49 billion. We're talking about that. We're not talking about.
I mean, it is chump change for them.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not going to talk about.
Hang on. I want to know how they pay that. Is it in settlements, or is it can we just write you a check?
Good question.
Do you know what I mean? When you get to ridiculous sums of money like that, is it just did they turn up with 15 briefcases or something, heavily armed guard? Did they give them diamonds or something? Hey, look, take some of our diamonds. Not a highlight of humanity, if you ask me.
And I don't think there's a silver lining to this.
Silver lining, eh?
Yeah.
What you want to talk about Microsoft, huh? You want to talk about Microsoft?
Do you know what is silver though?
Their $250 Surface. That's gonna be competing
with who?
Chromebooks.
Ooh, Microsoft versus Google.
I mean, it's a fight that's always going on, right?
Yeah.
They're all punching above their weight.
Why do you think they've done this?
It's mainly designed towards, from what I gather, schools and students. So it's to compete with the Chromebook, which it itself is, from what I also gather, go check out their own product page because I might be butchering this, but it's not meant to be the biggest spec. It's not meant to be used for, say, gaming. It's not meant to be for full-on workloads. But what you would typically be doing as a student or in a school is perfect for.
Yeah, access the internet, some documents, kind of the easy load. Whereas the Surface Pros, they're pushed towards mega compatibilities, especially with creatives, with animations, drawing, editing, rendering, videos, etc., etc., etc. This one would be on the other side of things. Whereas, open up a Word doc. No, actually, open up a Google Doc. How ironic would that be?
Open up Google Docs.
Everyone will be on this Microsoft Surface.
I mean, the other reason why Microsoft's doing this is they're trying to use it as a selling point for Windows 11.
Yes.
Which has been met with very interesting, what's the word? I want to say feedback. I think some of it's hostility and some of it's welcoming. It's what side of the fence are you on?
Yeah. And it's always a good thing if you can put together hardware and software. One thing Google might not be able to do in that sense, as well as Microsoft, is doing both. They're still kind of not new, but Docs hasn't been around as long as Word has.
No.
And Chrome books, Chrome anything hardware has not been around as long as Microsoft has been around.
But I'd still choose Google's Docs, Google Sheets, Google...
You would.
Yeah.
But in the real world, what reigns supreme, Louis?
I wouldn't say it reigns supreme. I would say they have features that aren't existent in other options, yes. I prefer Google's offering of their Office software. I mean, it depends on what you like the best. Like I said earlier, Microsoft does have a lot of features in some of their software that is awesome, don't get me wrong. But for the fact that Google's just free, it's just there, you've got an internet connection, or I think you can even use it offline, to be honest. I think that in itself is just key, whereas Microsoft, I mean, you get their online... So that's the other thing, right? So Microsoft gives you, provided you got an email account with them, which is just an email account, you can use their free online Word or PowerPoint and stuff like that. But you're on the same boat as Google. You have to have an internet connection. You get limited functionality of it. So it's well, if you get that of Google, you might as well just use that. It depends on what it integrates with, right?
And yeah, like you were saying, if you're a student, which is the new target market, for the looks of things with the price range, there are bundles from both sides. especially Microsoft, for student packages. So pricing shouldn't be an issue as far as getting the suite.
Yeah, the whole suite.
Suite.
Yeah, suite of software.
Yeah, so it's a sweet deal.
Nah, stop it. Lemon sherbet in the house.
But I think competition is always good. And it's about time, really, they should, have a cheaper alternative to the Surface Pros that we've been seeing for the past 5 or more years, and tailoring towards, a more niche market. Whereas this is the market for tech and business, it's education. So it's kind of like, what's taking you so long to, but we're happy. I'm happy. So, yeah, it's good.
Talking to companies that might not be round for long. Robinhood.
Ooh.
They got hacked.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You mean someone stole from the rich?
No, someone stole, 5 million customer email addresses and 2 million customer names.
Yes, so someone stole from the rich.
But they're not rich.
They stole data from people?
Yeah, you could have a Robinhood account and only have $2 in there. It doesn't mean you're rich. I guess you could be rich to many people.
Yeah.
But you're not to certain people.
Damn, they didn't even do it right. Can't believe it.
But yeah, the way it happened as well was social engineering, which, if you don't know what that is, it's where there will be an official definition for this, but long story short, social engineering is the way people use communications and methods and processes towards people that have that access to trick them into believing that it's legit and then giving you the access. So, for example, they may pretend to be your utility supplier and saying, hey, look, we're going to cut you off if you don't log into the system and verify your payment details. Whereas you log into the system, you give your credentials, and now they've got that, they can go forward and start escalating or whatever. Very crude example, but that is, in a nutshell, what social engineering is.
Yeah, it's basically playing into you as a person and your feelings and emotions and trying to trick you that way instead of just using technology. It's more using people and
they've engineered you socially.
Yeah. Disadvantages? What's the word I'm looking for? Strengths and weaknesses. Mainly weaknesses as a person versus the tech that you hold.
It's not really weaknesses as a person, though. It's like you could be the most you might not be weak at all. One small mistake, and you can believe that it is your boss asking you for the login credentials to prod.
True.
Do you know what I mean? Like some small things that can make you believe it, and then all of a sudden, bam, you've now given access, and before you know it.
But would you not say that's a weakness, to just give trust straight away instead of verifying it?
But that's the point, though. Like if they communicate, to say your boss's email gets hacked, right? Because he's an idiot and has a stupid password, right? Imagine that. Your boss then emails you saying, hey, look, I'm trying to access this secure system. It's not accepting my PIN. You would imply that is your boss. So if he says to you, hey, can you double check, say, what this password is?
Yeah.
Like, that's the way they would come about it. I mean, I'd still tell my boss, no, you're an idiot.
Exactly.
But there is some people that wouldn't be thinking in the moment. But it's not a weakness per se, because it could just be at any point.
But I'd say it is a weakness, because if you knew better, if you were educated better on social engineering, you would verify that is your boss. Or you would know not to give up information that's needed to that case so freely.
I agree, and I don't think it's that. Like, companies do give their employees the training.
Yes.
It's whether they listen to it or not. That's the first thing.
So that's another weakness, not listening to training.
Yeah, you are right. My problem is with the people, but also with the company, because they should have additional things in place.
Yeah.
So, you should expect that your employees are stupid, in my opinion.
Yes.
So, even if you did give him the password to your boss, he should have to go through, 2 different additional layers of security that you can't provide. So, even if a hacker did get that, their attack footprint would be to emails. Cool. You know that they've got access to the emails. You can isolate it and be like, hey, look, anyone's got an email from this guy, don't listen to it. Whereas if you as a company believe just one password secures the system, you're also an idiot, in my opinion.
But you're correct. But I feel as if kind of the argument here is social engineering is quite not new, but nuanced enough that it usually is the one thing that gets people the most. Because you're right. You have to admit that people are stupid, even us, because we're human beings. We have this human error, right? That's what social engineering plays on. But you as a company, you as an entity, as a person, individually, just at home, sitting on your laptop, not even part of any work environment, should be wary, educated, and continuously practicing good skills and good standards of staying away or staying safer away from attacks that attack you socially instead of the usual routes. So I don't know about your workplace. We often have not just seminars, but also our head of IT and our head of security as well. They play tricks, little games, but nobody knows, because then it weeds out who's the weakest in the company. So they'll send out an email saying, "Hey, this is the boss. Send me your password." Just as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then now we know each week, or they know each week, like, okay, 5 employees actually responded to this. That's not good enough because all it takes is 1. So it's like now they would know. They'll go to them like, "Hey, luckily that was us.
Yeah.
So this is what you need to be careful of. You need to, every time this kind of email comes to you, just double check it. And then the next time it'll be one person. It might be a new employee. Like, hey, so you got to stay on top of it. And that's what I mean by strengthening from that kind of way. I just feel like it is a weakness because it's easy to just say like, oh, this is natural. We're all human beings. But there are ways to strengthen that and stop it from being a weakness is all I'm pretty much just like getting to.
Yeah, no, you are right. Like I have worked for, and I know of companies that like what you just said about like those tests.
Yeah.
You fail those 3 times, you get fired. Like after the one, it's identified and your manager gets like informed, and then they give you more training. Second time, it's like are you not paying attention to the training? Is there something else going on? How else can we also help you? More training, etc. And then the third time is like, all right, I don't know if you're an idiot or they're like really working out how to like pinpoint you.
Yeah. Which
then you kind of have to ask like, what are we also doing wrong? Yeah. But there is companies that will fire you the third time.
Yeah. Because at that point,
take your stuff.
It doesn't, like you're saying, it doesn't matter what the reason is. Your liability to us. At each turn, we've attempted. You've failed. Like we can't have you here because we will lose data. We will lose money. We will lose customers. It's just you have to go.
Yeah.
And just one point, we were talking about this earlier, me and you. In my first week at uni, our first interaction with security was about social engineering as well. And my lecturer used to work for an undisclosed company that I don't know about.
Neither confirm nor deny, James Bond.
And he'd say, "Hey guys and girls in the class or lecture room, like, what do you guys think is the quickest way to hack someone?" And we'd all be like, "Oh, brute force, passwords, just steal the laptops." And was like that. And he's like, "You're onto something. You're onto something there." And then he was like, "But the quickest way to do it is becoming friends with people." And we'd be like, "What do you mean?" And he gave us an example. One thing he used to do for the undisclosed company to prove how easy it is to get people's trust, to get into systems, was he'd go and randomly chain smoke with random employees outside of a random building. And while chain smoking, he'd just walk in with them. And security wouldn't check because it's a group of people walking in that work together as far as they're concerned. And now he's literally inside the building.
Yep.
One memory stick, boom, boom, boom. Easy. Another one, just for throwaway, he'd also get a fake wheelchair and just stand outside until eventually security would let him in. Playing on human, not negligence, kindness. But it is a weakness. Kindness is a weakness in this case.
What's that get rich or die trying quote? Or is it like, show no love, love will get you killed, right?
Exactly. So just things like that. Letting people in that you don't know just because they look like they're vulnerable. and just being friendly with people. You have to stay vigilant in the tech world, and just in life. It's difficult, I know, because you want to, love everybody, trust everybody, but that's what people play on, and it's just, yeah.
But hang on. Like when you sat outside in a wheelchair, like the security guard says, like, "Hey, do you want to come in, like, inside, like, the main foyer, so like it's not raining or something?" Fine, but like then let him in the building. Like that security guard's an idiot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a liability.
Bye.
So training for him too is like, hey, do you have a laminate card? No. Okay, I can't let you in. Oh, I let you in, but just outside the code. And you can stay here, and we'll try and verify who you are as a person. Do you know what I mean?
If not,
get ID. Exactly. It's like, hey, he's in a wheelchair. I want to take care of him, but he's also not authorized to be inside this building. So I don't know. I'm not going to just let him in because he's in a wheelchair, because then I don't know what he could do. Yeah. And that's just like, you have to be strong in those morals, and people might look at you. You might end up in a viral clip like, hey, this security guy is harsh or whatever. I'm going to use a bad word. But you're doing your job, mate. Like, you did the right thing. If you do the right thing, It doesn't matter.
I remember, I can't remember the company's name, but there was a company that, like, it got pretty big, and the CEO and all the executive board, every single person got treated the exact same. So you walked up to the building at the beginning, you had to have your ID badge. You went through 100% of the same checks as every single employee did. It wasn't a case of, oh, you're the CEO, I know who you are, look at your face, I'll just let you through. Like, and he would, like, thank security and be like, thank you for doing a very due diligent job, that you're not treating me differently because I'm the CEO. Every single person goes through the exact same security check, for example. And that is what you need. That is what you want. Yeah, but I mean, it's unfortunate for Robinhood. I mean, the whole, GameStop boom and the meme with the stocks and whatnot, which helped them out, and they're making some serious funds. But this social engineering hack basically led to their internal tools being accessed by an external party, which, as we said, a few minutes ago, it was 5 million customer email addresses and 2 million names.
Yeah.
But the caveat to that is I think they said 300 or 400 people of that have had additional information, so such as transactions or maybe addresses, I can't remember exactly, also accessed. So there's a small select number of people it's gone to the next level for, from what they've also recently reported for their earnings, I can't imagine this additional reputational damage for what's happened will help them out. Hence the joke of another company that might not be around for long. Portugal has made it illegal for your boss to contact you out of hours.
Let me check my emails.
You're not in Portugal,
Take me to court, mate.
Take you to court, or you have to move to Portugal and try it then. So,
Hola,
amigo.
No, that's Spanish. There's hola with a H is Spanish.
Hola
without a H is Portuguese.
I just say ciao. So, Portugal's made it illegal for your boss to contact you out of hours, which obviously there's some caveats to that. Like, say you signed a contract that says you do production support, you've got to uphold that. But for an average Joe that doesn't do anything like that, say your boss messages you at 10 o'clock and says, hey, look, we've got a presentation tomorrow, can you log on to do some extra work? You don't have to answer, and your boss will be fined for that. They've implemented this mainly to improve work-life balance, and if I remember correctly, it applies to companies with over 10 people. So I think it's illegal for the boss to do it anyway, no matter the size of the company. But I think if the company's over 10 people, they're susceptible to being fined. Don't know the amounts, but they're susceptible to being fined. Another reason why Portugal has done this, and it may be for the better or maybe not, I'm not too sure how well it will play off, but they've done it is a movement to protect foreigners and the idea of them moving to Portugal, because the second part of the law, which I think is kind of awesome to be honest, is employees who have children under the age of 8, they can just work from home. They don't have to seek approval to be able to work from home. So say you've just had a kid, you legally, as far as I interpret that law, this is not legal advice, you check out yourself if you live in Portugal, but legally you don't have to step back foot in the office until your child is 8, I believe.
So this is kind of like increasing maternity leave to kind of like maternity work from home.
Yeah, but
and paternity as well.
Yeah, maternity. That's insane. And paternity.
In a good way, like insane good insane.
Yeah, I mean it's a bit different from months to years.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think Louis' disagreement here.
No. You were saying like normal like maternity and paternity, which typically companies give like what, 6 months or like a year. I don't know. It depends on the company, right?
Depends on the company.
But like not having to go into work for 8 years. You still work, obviously, and there'll be some caveats like say you've got to take your.
No, I just want to know if you agree or disagree with that.
What, the
8 until they're 8 years old?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it depends slightly on the nature of your role. Like, say you're like a water plant engineer and you have to be there to press the buttons. I guess maybe you can do it remotely. I don't know. Like this, I guess there's some roles it wouldn't apply to, right?
Yeah.
Like, say you're a cop, you can't exactly work from home. I mean, unless you'd have to like change what you do in your role.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't be catching drunk drivers from your house.
But you could be writing up the reports from home.
Exactly. So you would have to shift the.
There are ways to find if your job allows it.
Yes.
And that's the key part here. So this isn't, although it looks like it applies to everyone, if your job doesn't have work from home, like privileges or ability, how are they going to, like you're legally allowed to work from home until your child is 8, but your company can't give you work.
Yeah, like imagine you're a doctor. What, there's like all your patients done up to your house now?
Hey, you can consult from home though. That's my point. Like there are jobs where you can. So we need to find like a nuclear power plant button presser. Do you know what I mean? And his biometrics are the only ones that work for the button.
I'm so sorry if that's just insulted people that work in the role.
I mean, you have to be educated and technical and experienced to be the button presser of a nuclear plant. It wasn't Homer.
If I press that,
presser,
I was gonna say if I press that one button,
everything I just said. Yeah, so if you're Homer Simpson, you have to be there.
So he didn't need to be there. He was
a liability.
Stupid.
Speaking of liabilities, security threats.
That's what I'm saying. Dole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a good move there. I feel like the pandemic itself has been a very rough time for everyone. Like everyone has been impacted, whether directly or indirectly. But I feel like some parts of it have shed some light on different ways. Like, think of how many people now don't want to go back to the office because of what they've seen.
Well, now, again, back to the nature of the job.
Yeah.
And this, you have to understand where you work has to allow you to do so. And it has to make sense, not just for you, but for them too. So it's not just, and this is speaking from a very privileged point of view, because not everybody's even been able to work from home. Like the numbers, I don't know what they actually are, but there's no way. Majority of jobs can't be done from home. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
So it's like, again, this is not a niche market, but it's not the majority of people get to sit from this point of view. So it's like some companies have noticed a high level of productivity when they're working from home, right? And some haven't. So it really depends on not just, hey, I want to work from home. It's, hey, is this useful for us, or is it not? Because not everybody wants to work from home. Some people like actually going in. Yeah. Some people don't. So back to the whole Portugal thing, 8 years is a lot.
It's not like you have to.
I know, but if you're given the choice and you choose it, They started straight from 8 years.
I think there's a portion of this that we won't understand because we don't have kids. Like, imagine you've got a young one, right, that's just been born. You not that you'd want to spend every single minute with them because I don't know, would that be unhealthy? I don't know. Like, I'm not in that position to say so, right? But you wouldn't want to miss out on, say, their first words because you're at work. You wouldn't want to miss out on their first steps, like after a year, because you're in the office because you have to. Do you know what I mean? So maybe at the beginning, yes, but then when they're swanning off the preschool or reception or whatever it is, like lower school, you're not going to see them for the day anyway, so it wouldn't matter if you were in reduced hours in the office.
Yeah.
So maybe there's an aspect to it that we don't understand because me and you don't have kids. I mean, as far as I know.
Yeah, that's true. And I can't really use the example of, hey, how the world has been so far, because that's like insane. Because that's all we know is what exists now and has existed. So I welcome change regardless. So I'm interested to see how this works for Portugal and anybody else that adopts this kind of thing. But it could start with like 4 years is all I'm saying. Like straight to 8. I guess it's, again, like you said, there's it's just the maximum. You can do whatever you want. You could probably accept to go back to work like after year 2, feeling like, hey, no, I've got a nanny now and I actually do want to go back to work. Or, you know, there's whatever. So
I know of someone that works for a company that prior to the pandemic, it was, no, can't work from home, or you have to be in this many days a week. It's mandatory. Nothing will ever get done if you don't do that. And then the pandemic hit and they were like, wow, we've seen a massive boost in productivity since people are working from home because they don't have to travel, because they don't have to spend 2 hours on a bloody train. They don't have to get up at 5 a.m. to be in the office for 8 a.m. and then they're not absolutely exhausted by the time they finish work. They then got to track home. So you can improve on like your mental well-being. Like, you probably can cook yourself dinner that night because you don't have to spend 2 hours travelling home. You don't get home at 10 o'clock. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of companies have woken up to that sort of thing. Like, I know of another company that just started selling their offices, cutting up all their contracts, and were like, look, people tell us how many you want to go into the office. We can like rent space. We'll move to that model. We won't have a massive building in central London which is costing us millions of pounds a month because, go figure, no, half the workforce doesn't want to be in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a shift and it's still moving. I think a lot of companies are still like testing the water, so to speak.
You said this a lot last episode, but I think this is something that we will touch on as like a main thing. So my mind's going like nuts right now, but we're strict for time. So working from home, we'll have an episode coming from that. I promise you, we'll cover every nook and cranny. When you're at home, speaking of being at home and working from home.
No, speaking of mental well-being and looking after yourself, right?
Yes.
Right. Speaking of that, Spotify, what is Spotify getting up to, mate? Talk to me.
Spotify have acquired or are acquiring an audiobook company.
We've got to be legally correct here.
Yeah, they are acquiring an audiobook company called Find a Way. But they also operate as Find a Way Voices. So they're a pretty big deal. They work with audiobooks, publishing, and Find a Way Voices, who work with producing and publishing audiobooks. And the acquisition is currently undisclosed. I don't like that about Spotify. They pick and choose who they disclose prices about.
It's competition. You got to do that, bro. If you're telling everyone how much you're buying things for, people will be like, oh, really? Well, let's get in on this deal. Because the deal's not done, right? Like,
that's true.
There's got to be, the competition regulators have got to look into the deal and verify that it's not against certain laws. Yeah.
Also, they have to both agree. Like, Find a Way Voices had to agree, like, hey, don't disclose that. And Spotify were like, oh, we didn't want to anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it goes both ways. Anyway, this is insane because we've kind of seen them pushing the storytelling on Spotify. You've probably seen what do you call it?
The what, mate?
The discovery page of Spotify.
Oh, and it's like...
Listen to this podcast,
out, like,
but some of the podcasts are like, hey, storytelling. Hey, these are African stories. Hey, these are murder, flipping.
How did you go from African to murder to crime?
I'm telling you, if I open up my Spotify right now, back to back, it will be African tales, murder stories, love stories, and then something that's about kids. Those are the top 3 genres, bro.
Mine is Intechlectual, School Didn't Teach You,
Hey.
and then some motivational.
Exactly.
I'm not going to shout them out because they aren't paying us. But other than that, like, there's no...
Damn.
Yeah.
But yours, you
really
actually
dirty,
use...
bro.
You actually use Spotify for podcasts.
The ones that I know of that I specifically go for, though.
I don't use Spotify.
For podcasts.
I use Google Podcasts personally, and sometimes also Apple. Ironically, I don't know why I can't listen to podcasts on Spotify.
I think it's because you know it's for music.
Yeah, it's not, but it was. And now,
yeah, for like, your
podcast,
brain and your subconscious is like, this is music. Why are you listening to a podcast? Like some dude's talking to me.
This might change my mind. I might start using it for other things because if they're getting into the audiobooks, that's different. That's
Audible's got a competitor, right? Amazon. They're coming for it.
Yeah, Amazon's probably. You're right. What's the company name again?
Audible.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, they're the audiobook people.
Yeah.
Well, the Amazon owns the company.
So it's Amazon.
I think they were their own company, and then Amazon brought them.
Gotcha.
Many years ago.
So they have a monopoly, and then Spotify now looking like, hey, we need to just give some sort of competition, and that's smart. I think as business wise, like you're literally an audio company. You do nothing else but audio. So why not have every medium? You have podcasts, you have music, of course, and now you also have books. This is a genius, in my opinion. Like, I keep using that word, but sometimes you just got to clap it up to people like, hey, if you're going to do audio, do it all the way.
Go big or go home, right?
Exactly.
I like Spotify. I like everything that Spotify does. They've done it. Actually, no, wait. Not everything.
We've got a fanboy over here.
Huh?
We've got a fanboy over here.
Yeah, I represent them as a company. Like, what they do, like, even internally, like, how they do their tech, like, how they approach their workforce.
But Louis, I can't order my albums in release order.
Oh, I'm not saying it's perfect. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Just making sure.
There is some things that... Actually, there is ways that you can request features, and the more upvotes they get, is the more they listen to.
I know. I did that with that 4 years ago. They didn't do it. That's why I stopped. That's why I didn't use Spotify until 2 years ago. I'm actually pretty new to Spotify, like, because they didn't have that feature. I stuck with, at the time, I used to use iTunes, of course, and then I switched to a Pixel.
LimeWire, yeah, which you were mentioning in episode 1.
I switched to the Pixel. I started using Google Music, and then they got rid of Google Music because Google owns YouTube, and then started making YouTube Music. And then I was like, forget this. I'm going to use Tidal. Tidal was fantastic. The issue with Tidal was I couldn't connect my Tidal to my PS4 at the time, or PS5, PlayStation in general. So I was like, hey, I can't stream my music onto my console. This is nuts. You can for the third-party app. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of faff, and it's not as smooth or nice.
Might not be secure. You might be giving your details to someone that's going to start...
No, they're partnered with someone. I can't remember. Plex. You heard of Plex? Plex. Yes, it's Plex. No, it's Plex.
What, Plex Media Server?
Yeah. So it is Plex, but connecting it to your PlayStation is just effort. And I was like, I just want to click and play my music.
Yeah.
And Spotify has the best
integration.
For like multimedia playing. Like all my devices at home, I can just like click, walk into a room, press, continue playing here. I was like, if I can't do that, I do that a lot. I want to cook. I want to be in the living room. I want to be in my room. I want to be in the shower. I want my music everywhere. You can't offer me that as a service, I'm sorry. It's it. So if you're listening to this, Jack Dorsey and J.A.Y, we're going to talk about you, J.A.Y. We're going to talk about you. So because you brought up Tidal, so get that sorted, please, and then I'll be back on Tidal. Until then, your high fidelity means nothing to me. It means nothing. Sorry, you have the best all mastered audio for listen to it like the DJ engineer does. Like, it doesn't matter. I can't play it on my console, which I'm on often. Accessibility is key. Quality without accessibility means nothing to people. You've got the quality, now start using access. Thank you. Rant over.
Actually, talking of Tidal, was it like haven't they like had like 3 different CEOs in the last like 2 or 3 years? Like every single one of them that comes in that I've been trying to, and I'm doing air quotes here, like make a bridge in the market and to try to overtake. They've all seemed to have been fired. And I think Jay-Z's been like, nah, see you, mate. You're not doing the job.
Yeah, until now, he just passed it over to... Well, he sold majority, not a bit more than half, to Jack Dorsey, who's Twitter, so and Square. So, you know, I think big things are to come.
What, is Twitter going to get in the audio game now?
Hey, listen. Think about that.
They've started building their own crypto team, you know.
Think about that. I follow Jack religiously on Twitter.
I like him.
Ironically, yeah.
I like him, but there's some things that he does or he talks about that I'm like,
He's like a tech hippie. Like, he's the closest thing to Steve Jobs that we've had since Steve Jobs, in my opinion. People don't really realize it, but if you really like look at him, like literally just look at him, like,
wow.
But also just look at how he does things and what his beliefs are. Actually, he's more. I don't want to get this political. He's more than what Steve did. So it's like, whatever. This isn't a Jack Dorsey podcast. This is about how Spotify now has audiobooks.
But putting Jay-Z on blast.
Wait. There's more.
What?
I want to just go back to Spotify having audiobooks now is a direct competitor to Amazon. They both have music. They both have audiobooks now. Does Amazon have podcasts? We should know this, because if they do, we're going to put it on there.
No, I don't think they do, and I don't like Amazon.
But now, they might have to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the music that they have is like very select artists that are like, yeah, okay, I'll also get some money from you.
Yeah. So it will be the same way for Spotify and audiobooks. It's very, because Find a Way Voices isn't the biggest publisher or creator of audiobooks, so it's going to be a select amount of books, but also creating new ones. That's the whole point in this whole thing, is publishing from now on. You can go straight to Spotify, so it's going to be like a benefit for new creators more than, hey, let's try and put J.K. Rowling's catalog on here. It's going to be like, hey, if you want to write a book,
Let's not talk about J.K. Rowling.
You want to publish it, you can do it on here now. That's their main push from what I've been seeing and reading. But again, back to the whole Microsoft versus Google thing. Amazon have hardware. You didn't understand that. You see, he questioned that segue. He questioned the segue.
No, I didn't question the segue. I'm just like, well, are we going back to that?
Yeah. But Amazon have hardware. Spotify don't. It's going to be hard to... So I don't think they're trying to be a direct competitor. They're just trying to offer a different way of doing things.
Wait, you say Spotify don't have the hardware.
They don't.
Have you followed their engineering blog to understand what they actually have in place?
No. But do they have it in place now?
Yo, Spotify's got some mad stuff.
Hey, until it happens and I see it, I'm going off of what exists today, Louis.
Yeah, and that's what exists.
What hardware exists now from Spotify?
What do you mean by hardware?
Amazon have Kindles.
Yeah, but you don't... If that's for reading a book, that's not...
but you can also listen.
I guess so, but Spotify is on every device.
You're right.
Why go for hardware when you're accessible everywhere?
I guess maybe I'm thinking everybody that likes books likes to read and listen. So you'd have a Kindle, and then when you're... Am I wrong? Is it a separation? Like people that listen to audiobooks don't read?
No, I listen to them and I read them. Like I've got a Kindle and I read on my Kindle, but I've also got physical books. But I also listen to audiobooks. But it, like if Spotify is already accessible everywhere, like on every device, why would you?
It's not accessible on Kindles.
Okay, bar Kindles.
Yeah.
But I mean, like you're not gonna pull out a Motorola flip phone from 2001 and be like, "Can I get Spotify on this?" Like you won't. I mean, you might be able to get onto the web browser and play some audio. Who knows? So maybe it still is accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, can you get a browser on a Kindle? I don't know.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. I'm sure that they've made it clear
Okay.
that you can't do anything but what they offer from the Amazon store.
Yeah. But then again, right? So if it's accessible everywhere, why now be specialized in hardware and like you can only listen to Spotify audiobooks on hardware that we've given you? If you've already built up an empire to say you want to listen to Spotify, sure. We've got hundreds of different types of devices, like categories. So like smart devices, phones, tablets, browser, non-browser, you name it, right?
Yeah.
You don't care, mate. Like if you can only listen to Amazon audiobooks on like select things, so like you have to download the app on your phone or whatever. You've got a Kindle, whatever. You got like select few. Whereas the Spotify is just targeting everywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. My point was it's not the same as Google versus Microsoft. Okay. One does have hardware, but it doesn't matter. Maybe I didn't make that clear.
Okay, when you're saying hardware, I'm understanding that you mean like the infrastructure to back.
No, I mean products that sell.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because usually people are tied to those things. Like you use Apple Music on Apple, you can use it anywhere else. But yeah. So anyway, Spotify are branching to everyone and everywhere, so it's different. So I don't think it doesn't matter what you think about Amazon. There's no connection. There's no like direct competition. They're doing their own thing. It's going to be for new up and coming artists, writers, novelists, whatever, and publishing them from now, building the future of books and novels.
Good luck to them. I like them. If you want to take down Amazon, go for it. Got my back in.
But yeah.
Talking of back in.
And
talking of taking down.
No. Talking of nightmare stories.
No, talking of taking down.
And nightmare stories.
What's
talking of a writer who is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
If we find out that he doesn't write his own songs, we'd be
he does. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Cool. Roll with it.
For writing, I think.
Rock and roll.
Or creative something.
Sure.
Anyway. J.Z. H.O.V. Hover. Jigger.
The FBI. What are they doing to my man?
J.A.Y. FBI. I never lie. Emails. Like.
Whoever's listening to this is
like,
thinking...
Wait. Email. Like that female. Hillary. Because emails, he deleted emails. Like Hillary. It rhymed.
Did she delete the emails? No, her emails got hacked and...
so did Jay-Z's, bro. He got hacked too. Isn't it a shame?
No, there's an imminent hack.
Yeah.
He didn't get hacked.
What's the story, Louis?
He hasn't been hacked yet, but
they warned him.
Are telling him that he should delete his emails because there's an imminent hack.
Why is there an imminent hack? What did he do to deserve an imminent hack?
Long story short, there was some company that he was a brand deal with for fragrance and he didn't promote them, so they tried to sue him. During the suing, he was accused by a judge of deleting evidence or emails or something for that. So I think then there's like a retaliation because of that. Now there's like an imminent attack coming for it.
So they want to find all his emails.
Yeah.
In case there's more evidence there. And that's just the beginning of his tech nightmare. Recently, Dame Dash, his former partner, tried to sell the rights for Reasonable Doubt as an NFT. And Jay-Z said,
"Oh no,
hell no!
He didn't have the rights to it, right? And he tried to, like an idiot."
Yeah.
And then Jay-Z was like, "You know what I can do? I can sell it as an NFT."
Yeah. Did it actually get sold as an NFT, or did they just stop it?
He dropped it.
Okay.
He dropped it as an NFT, I believe.
Damn.
Because he was like, "I do have the rights, so I will do that."
Damn. Should I say Dame?
No.
But then there's more.
Well, no. So I think Jay-Z's label Rockefeller then sued the co-founder, right? So the Dash guy, right? Back in June.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's correct. And then, because he was trying to sell the virtual ownership of that album, Reasonable
Well, he
Doubt,
wanted
right?
to sell his percentage that he owned, but they wouldn't
No,
let him
but
do
he
that.
was. I think he was claiming that he owned it all. So
No.
he didn't have a majority share to be able to do that.
Yeah,
So even if he had like less than 50%, so he couldn't do that.
exactly. So it's like, no, you can't sell as an NFT because you don't have all the rights. Is that what you mean?
No, I think he claimed that he had like the streaming rights.
Okay.
So yeah, so he tried to sell off the rights that he didn't have, so he didn't have like majority share. The judge in, I believe it was New York, blocked it, right? Him trying to sell, like, to auction off the Reasonable Doubt as an NFT, which we now know if you didn't listen to last week's episode, which I recommend you do. It's a non-fungible token,
Yes.
not fungi, as Manny was like joking it up last week about. But then after that, an official NFT from J.A.Y celebrating the album was then announced. I think
Gotcha.
J.A.Y was like, "Yo, screw you!
Yeah.
Like you tried to mess with me."
It's HOV. You can't mess with me. I'm the OG. This is an NFT. I'm married to B. I got a couple B's. That's babies. That's Blue. B. Billion. B.
Do they have how many kids? Have they got?
Beyonce. B. It's a triple B.
They got one kid.
I think so.
So
Blue Ivy.
what's the third B? So Beyonce, Blue, and then what?
A billion. He's a billionaire. It's a triple B. Oh wait, there's another B. He's got two B's. 2 billion.
Oh, billions. I thought you were talking about Beyonce's sister. I was like, yo, I thought that was buried.
Solange, but
Yeah, I thought that was buried.
she's got a B. Boxing hands.
Catch these hands.
He caught them
What?
in the elevator. She beat him up. You didn't see that?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Okay,
saying.
yeah.
I was saying, I thought you were talking about her sister.
Yeah, Solange.
Yeah, and I thought you were talking about that, like...
Yeah, she beat up Jay-Z in the boxing gloves. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I thought she was the other B, but
No,
you're
she
talking
wasn't.
about
No,
her
no,
as the
no.
B. Yeah.
You know what another B is? Bitcoin, all-time high, Louis. It's 69 now. You'd be laughing. So like Teo Cruz said, I told you once, I'm going to tell you twice. Light it up like dynamite. Diamond hands, we're going to the moon, Louis. Pack your bags. Pack your bags, Louis.
I mean, for the average person...
And an oxygen mask.
Yo, no, hang on. For the average person that's not dealing with, like, tens of thousands of pounds...
I'm not dealing with tens of thousands of pounds, Louis.
But that's what I'm saying.
I am your average person.
How much
I'm not average, you know what I mean?
Oh...
I didn't mean it like that. Yo.
Guys, I
Yo.
said earlier I'm looking for a new co-host.
Yo.
That offer is still there. If
I meant
someone...
my personality, Louis.
1 in a million.
Yeah. Listen, get this.
Should we make it as an NFT?
No.
Can we sell your personality as an NFT?
Let's talk about trading. Not trading. Investing.
In
In NFTs. No, sorry. In Bitcoin, in cryptocurrencies. I have a mate.
Oh.
I told him, hey, you spend 50 quid every weekend on alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Spend half of that. The other half, whack it into just altcoins. I was going to say the bad word, but I didn't say it. Just random things.
Not random things.
No.
Don't invest in
I
something
said,
like Squid Coin.
I said random things.
Okay, cool. I'm telling people on the podcast that this is not financial advice. Don't listen to us. This is just an
Yes,
example.
it is financial advice.
No, it's not financial.
Yes, it is.
Yo, we need to be registered as a legal entity in...
Fine, it's personal. It's not financial advice. It's personal friendship advice.
No.
The money you spend on alcohol that's going to get rinsed regardless.
It's no advice at all.
Half of that, put it into a Bitcoin or something. If you lose it, it's fine. You would have lost it anyway into alcohol poisoning. But now instead, you've lost it to some other rich millionaire. But sometimes, guess what? You won't lose it.
Don't use the
It'll
Robinhood account
double.
because apparently you
It will
get
triple. It will quadruple. It will sync-truple. Cis-truple.
Sextuple.
Set-tuple. duple, nuif, 10 times that. That's 10 times. I'm just saying. Is that not a good...
I think for the next episode we need like a safe word, like me and you. I feel like there needs to be a word that we agree on at the beginning of the recording of the next episode to be like, we're not okay. Because what you've just done.
Listen, all I'm saying is, money you can literally throw away, invest into something. This is money you can throw away. So whatever that is to you, it's literally throwaway money.
Hang on. Let me rephrase
Disposable income. Do you know what you dispose of? Rubbish.
No, guys, right. So Manny is along the right lines. Let me rephrase that.
I'm on track, mate.
It's not money that you want to throw away.
You can.
It's money that you could lose every single penny
and you wouldn't
and not be financially impacted. So you will not fail to pay you won't fail to pay all your bills. You won't now be racked up in debt. So if you invested say 100 quid, right, and you lost every single penny of that, it's not going to stop you from being able to keep a roof over your head. That's what man is trying to say. When he's saying throw it away, he means money that you can happily lose without impacting your ability to live. That's what he means.
Also, I'm going to be serious for a second.
Okay.
Diversify your bonds. Don't put it all into one thing or one area.
Not just your bonds, your markets, everything.
No, that's just a saying. Diversify your bonds by RZA on Wu-Tang. I'll send you the video.
You're going to have to.
Yeah.
That one's going over my head.
You know, it's Dave Chappelle. It's a Wu investment firm. The skit, and he's like, diversify your bonds.
You was about to say a word that's not.
No, that's what they say. No, that's what they say.
Yeah, I know, but the next word is a word.
No, there is no next word.
Nah.
He says diversify your bonds. Actually, yeah, there's a next word.
There's always a next word with Dave Chappelle. Like, there's no. That's the end of the sentence.
Yeah,
Love
no, there
Dave
is.
Chappelle.
Yeah. But yeah, diversify your portfolio. Learn about everything. Don't just stick to one platform or one medium. Not just one.
Or market.
Market, exactly.
By market, we mean different areas of the world.
Yeah, literally. So learn a bit about everything. And like Louis said, money that doesn't financially impact you, if you were to throw it away, play with that. And then see what happens. It's worth it.
Never gamble more than you can't afford.
Exactly. And on that, we say, Arrivederci, adios, bon voyage.
Ciao. Welcome.
Welcome. We're saying goodbye.
Yeah, in German, welcome isn't that German for bye or hi?
I don't know. That is Louis trying to speak German. So if you want beef, it's not with me.
You can't see the look I'm giving him right now.
It's not me.
That's not me.
I know my words were correct.
I don't think they were.
What? Bon voyage. Adios. Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Where does the Ali come from?
What is it? Arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Due cappuccini, per favore.
Lo siento, amigo.
No.
What's sorry in Italian? Louis, come on, man.
I'm waiting for you to. You should.
I asked the question. I don't know.
Oh, you don't.
I don't.
Excuse.
Excuse. Oh, right.
Excuse.
Excusez-moi. Excuse. Lo siento. Pardon.
Pardon. Why are you going French now?
No. They're all different. One was Spanish, one was Italian, one was...
French.
Listen.
French
audience,
is the last one, right?
Pardon.
Yo, we should do a language lesson.
Listen, no, we will.
No, we won't.
No, we will, because I don't know if people know about Duolingo versus using things like...
Yo, I pay for their plus, you know.
What's the other one called?
50 quid a year, it's not bad.
50 quid a year?
Yeah.
Do you know French?
No.
You've been robbed. See, that's disposable income.
Well, I haven't been robbed. Because the additional stuff that it gives me, I don't mind paying. It's the equivalent of 5 quid a month, so 60 quid. 5 quid a month right? £1.25
Wait,
a week.
Louis, did you just invest in yourself?
I always invest in myself, bro.
It's mad because, and that 50 quid doesn't financially impact you, right?
Oh, it does. I can't eat tomorrow. Imagine.
We need to close this podcast off, man. Thank you for listening. This has been episode 2. We've got, I mean, we actually cut ourselves short, so we've got some heat for you coming up next week. I promise you that. And maybe some bonus episodes too. Also, we are on every major platform for podcasts. Google.
What is that? Go on,
Spotify. And Apple. Also Anchor. Thank you so much. We've been doing this through Anchor. So if you want to start a podcast, Anchor is your best friend. I don't know if it's your best friend, but we know it works.
We're not being paid to say this either.
No, exactly. So I'm just letting you know because one, we care, and also this is a tech podcast, so we're going to teach you free education about how to just do things tech related. So check out Anchor if you want to start a podcast or any audio means. And
I think the only thing that we've taught the people is that NFT means non-fungi token.
Wait, fungi? I thought it was...
It's fungible, but
fudge.
You said it was fungi, and everyone's going to remember it's fungi.
Non-fungible
token.
Futable.
And on that bombshell, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 2. I'm Louis.
I'm Emmanuel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're not a fun guy, no?
No.
I thought you were going to be like, and I'm a fun guy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, catch you next time.
Take care.